Hey, thanks for being here. My name's Kurt Roth, and this is the inaugural version of the 505 Sports Venture Foundation. Again, thanks for being here, and thanks to ProView Networks and Steve Davis for giving us this opportunity to discuss what 505 Sports Venture is, what it means to the University of New Mexico, and by going through University of New Mexico, what it means to the city of Albuquerque and the state of New Mexico. In a minute, I'm going to have my first guest on, who in my humble opinion is, without question, the greatest Lobo basketball player of all time. But we'll get to that in a second. Our program is set up to educate the public and to get them involved with our movement, which is referred to as NIL, name, image, and likeness. That's simply an abbreviation. There's a lot more to it. There's a lot to it that impacts not only the university, but the economies of Albuquerque and the state also. So what we're seeking is to get you, the public, involved in our movement. You can go to our website for more information, and we'll talk about this at the end of our program. But go to 505sports.org for kind of an explanation of what we're doing. Some of our work is up on there, and how you can get involved. Because without you, the general public, we can't succeed. We need you. So once again, we're going to come back in a minute. We're going to be here and talk to, once again, the greatest Lobo basketball player of all time. Hang in here with us. Okay.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
I promised you that I would have the greatest Lobo basketball player of all time here in the studio, and that's in my opinion. Obviously, that's subject to interpretation. I think once we discuss the statistics, there isn't much interpretation involved. But I want to welcome Kenny Thomas. Kenny, how you doing?
Man, I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate you
Thanks
having
for
me.
coming here on our first
me?
show.
It's the least I could do. I come in, you have my hat on.
Well, that's what I want to start about. How's everything's going well?
Man, everything's going great.
Well, I want to talk about this hat because I got this hat a week and a half ago at an outing, basically. We went up to Buffalo Thunder, stayed over on Sunday night and saw a show, and then participated in a usual golf tournament fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
And I had an incredible time. We had a great show on Sunday night. And tell us about that whole thing.
I mean, it was a great opportunity because I have a relationship with a good friend of mine, Senator Leah Mijo. He was actually a cheerleader at UNM when I was playing ball at UNM back in the day, and we got reconnected. And I really didn't know him, but we developed a friendship. And I was like, he's from the Espanola area, so I was like, I want to have a golf tournament. And I asked him who would be a good organization to partner with, and he brought up the Boys and Girls Club. Jay Abeda up north, not the Boys and Girls Club in Santa Fe, but the 4 up north. we decided to come together and do a golf tournament. And I figured there's a lot of golf tournaments going on down here in Albuquerque, so I was like, hey, like the Boys and Girls Clubs are up there, so why not keep it up north and see if I can put it together to where I can have a venue along with the golf course and a hotel, because I wanted to be like a destination golf tournament. Because I was able to bring in our county commissioner, Stephen Michael Casada, who's a good friend of mine. He came in, did the comedy show set, and it was great. And it was a great turnout for the first one. We probably had about 50, 60 people, but we anticipated more. And then we were able to do the golf event the next day, the next morning up at Altoa. It was a great event, had a great turnout. There was a moment there to where we had about 4 teams with like a month left. And then next thing you know, great people like yourself coming in and supporting the cause and supporting me. And there was a lot of other people supporting locally, not just up north, being able to bring this together within a couple months. And we ended up with about 30, a little over 30 teams for the first one. And we're going to keep it going. So stay tuned for that. And
well, I look forward to being it. I do have one little issue I want to raise. I played in a foursome with Brandon Mason, the great B Mace. Right. Now, we played behind a group that was slow, and we were a little slow ourselves. Yeah. So we walked in to the reception, the post-tournament raffle and awards. Yeah. As we walked in, you read the closest to the pin winner, and it was B Mace. Yeah. I need a recount on that or an investigation, because I was with him and we didn't even see that hole. But I don't know about B Mace winning that. What's that up? What's up with that?
When I saw it and he came in when I was giving the awards, and I was like, come on, man. How realistic is this? With all his tight clothes on, we all know how he wears his tight clothes. I wish I could. The man is still in shape for his age. But B Mace, come on. And then he goes outside and he actually goes out and does the putt. Because he actually supposedly won that too, which I'm even more surprised. But he got disqualified because he wasn't using his putter. Wow. It's not like he made it anyway, I don't think. But yeah,
but I have to admit, I was there for the qualifying putt. He did make that. We were stunned that he was the only person in the whole tournament who qualified. Yeah. But then when it was time to make the $10,000 putt from 50 feet away, his putter was in the car.
Yeah, I would have ran and got that thing.
I know.
But that hill, man, we getting older. You know that hill was steep with the cars, so I don't.
Yeah, once you go down, you're not coming back
I didn't think he wanted to come back up, but it was good because Royce Only was there, Clayton Shields was there, David Gibson was gonna be there, but he was out of town working. JJ Garego was there. Louis Lamar was supposed to come. So my biggest thing is I want to get it to the point to where there's my teammates that I played with that come. Hopefully I can get to the point to where I can even fly them in if I get some better resources or some bigger sponsors, which is what we're looking to get. And then I want to bring in some local guys. Not if there's some local football guys or some local celebrities. I even asked some of the people that I worked over at Channel 7 with, Shelly and Doug, if they wanted to come, and the sportscast over there. But
it's no doubt that you just planted the seed. As someone who comes back and forth for years from the East Coast to New Mexico, I've always been a little disappointed in how we don't recognize our history here. Yeah. We don't bring back our ball players. Plus, so many stay in the community. They should be introduced. There should be a video. We're going to work on that.
Yes.
That's a project that involved with 505 SVF and raising awareness about the student athlete. Why not use the name, image, and likeness of our great Lobos who have stayed in touch with the community? It's just a community effort. So we know you've done this. You've been really, really active in a lot of stuff since you played here. I mean, it's a quarter century almost.
Yeah. Calm down.
I can feel it.
Yes, I'm 46. Yes, unbelievable.
Well, hey, looking great. So what else? What are you doing besides this sort of? You have a group, a foundation, a Kenny Thomas deal. What are we doing?
Just to get, if you need any help from me with helping with the ex guys, get them back or whatever with the 505 stuff that you're doing, I'm more than willing to help you with that. Just to put that out there, you're my guy. So
that's a no-brainer to ask for your help.
I'm so diversified in a lot of different things to where Having a mentor like Magic Johnson, being able to call him my mentor is a tremendous honor. And I kind of do things on my own, and I have a variety of different things going on. I just launched my wine here in the state. I have 4 different kinds. Southern Wine and Spirits is my distributor. If you want the KT Legacy wines, please contact Southern, or obviously you can go to my social media, Kenny Thomas MBA. But I'm also on a couple boards here. I'm an ambassador for Make-A-Wish New Mexico. I'm on the African American Chamber of New Mexico. We just renamed it that. I'm on the UNM alumni board here locally. And once again, I'm doing some stuff with the Boys and Girls Club. And I have a variety of like basketball tournaments coming up. I have one coming up in December. I'm looking at doing some more in the summer and throughout the year, especially when there's some downtime when the kids are not playing high school ball. Not trying to come in and interfere with that, but also looking at going out around to some other parts of the state and doing some basketball things too.
Well, listen, we're going to get into a little more about that, about what you're doing, but I want to get into the career and why I go out and say, without a doubt, you're the greatest Lobo.
I did not pay him, and he's my guy.
Anyway, hang with us. We'll be right back.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch Mexico's best.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, thanks for hanging with us. We're back here with Lobo legend Kenny Thomas. Now, I went out on a limb and I made a statement that Kenny is the greatest Lobo of all time. Now, I didn't get that. I got a little information from him 2 years ago. I had talked to Kenny numerous times, never, ever tooted his own horn. Never. Now, I knew from watching in the 90s what a force he was as a freshman. Had never played a game. We knew how good Kenny was going to be. But I just want to throw out some statistics, and we'll let him talk about his career and his time at UNM. Kenny started in the 95-96 season and went through 98-99. 4 straight years. Mm-hmm. The year before Kenny got here, the team was 15-15, had 8 losses in the pit. In the pit had 8 losses. The year after Kenny left, the Lobos had 7 losses in the pit. So 8 losses the year before, 7 losses after the 4 years. Now, you just look at the basic stats. We'll talk about the wins and losses. I'm going to save that for last. The basic stats: leading rebounder of all time. No one even close at this point. Second in career points. But I started to research that. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. What's going on? And I looked at your stats, and I had to do a little research, and I went to the source, and I found out why. Basically, Kenny played 33 games, 32 games, 32 games, and then in his 4th year, he played 26 games. Yeah. Started all these games. And I said, well, what happened in year 4? Yeah. And I had forgotten. Tell us what happened in year 4.
So, man, came out of Albuquerque High. Before I actually came out of Albuquerque High, that 1 year, we won state. And then I'm like, okay, 18,000 people for a state championship game, right? So I could have gone anywhere in the country, basically. I could have went to North Carolina, UConn. Dean Smith was going to actually come to Albuquerque and eat lunch with me when I was at Albuquerque High. Didn't happen because I committed to UNM. It just felt right. And next thing you know, I'm at UNM. And here I am. I get a chance to actually play ball at UNM. The counselors in UNM, they were making sure I was academically fine. But then I ran into a challenge with the ACT, SAT, right? It took me a little longer. I eventually got it. Oh, God, okay, I get to play. Next thing you know, the NCAA took a half credit off of my transcript without telling anybody. So I was instantly ineligible. And everybody was like, what? Okay, what? So apparently they were saying that I was the biggest recruit to come to New Mexico in a long time. I don't know how long that was, but I had to get an injunction. I had to go to court and sue the NCAA, and I got an injunction to play. And then the cameras are in the courtroom. That courtroom went crazy. So the next day I was able to go with the team and everything. I was able to be in school, but I wasn't able to participate. And then I got the injunction. I think I was like a month late. Got there, everything's going. NCAA never went away. Like, they would not just accept defeat, right? So over the course of a couple years, we were still negotiation and mediation, negotiating some type of deal. So at the time, I wasn't expected to stay all 4 years. I was not I could have left my freshman year, junior year, sophomore year, junior year. And then we came up with an agreement. If I stayed to my senior year, I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna be here anyway. So then the deal was for me to sit out the first semester. So that's why I was able to miss those games.
So that's why we look at the record, we see you missed 6 games.
Yeah.
Because of something that happened 4 years before.
Yeah.
In a case that the NCAA lost, and they're really good at losing cases.
Yeah.
That's part of our NIL deal. But I want to let people know that you finished 62 points total behind Charles.
Yeah.
Now, I love Charles,
Yeah.
and he was a great ball player.
Yeah.
But you averaged 17.8 points, just under 18 points a game your senior year.
Yeah.
Had you played those 6 games, especially in the first semester, maybe you wouldn't have been in the whole time to score 18.
Yeah.
But you needed to average 10 points a game, and you'd be the leading scorer of all time.
I mean, you think about those 6 games and 10 points, right? But imagine if I would have had some kind of knowledge if I was 60 points short.
Right.
I might have got up some more I would have got up some more shots, right?
That's right.
But
the coach would have had you running plays and all this stuff. Well, listen, I don't want to stop. We got a couple minutes left in this segment. I just want to tell people, listen, we all know that while Kenny was here, I gave the stats: leading rebounder, second leading scorer, 4 years in a row NCAA tournament, 4 years in a row a win in the NCAA tournament. No one's done that. The Lobos ended Kenny's freshman year ranked 25th in the country, lost in the second round of the NCAAs, and the next 3 years, every game that Kenny played, the Lobos were ranked for 3 straight years. Okay, those are incredible stats. That not
people
my
don't
friend.
believe you.
Oh, people go, yeah. The one they don't believe, that I've checked 5 times, it's in black and white, Kenny played 74 games while he was here, 74 games in the pit. The Lobos went 71-3.
Wow.
71-3 in the pit. So to me,
Wow.
there's no question he was here for all of that. The stats speak for themselves. The results speak for themselves.
Wow.
And as Lobo fans, we're grateful for what he did. Anyway,
Wow.
hang with us. We're going to come right back and get to our final segment.
Wow.
Olivas going to the corner of the end zone. Nice grab there by Josh Jackson, and that's going to be a touchdown, El Dorado.
Their strong point, their focal point in there.
Nelson will keep it himself. For some room on the right side. Nelson's on his feet and he is in. It's a touchdown for Noah Nelson.
Sliding, they slid on it going out there. Linebacker, they're going for the big gutter play. How did he hold on to that, Ethan Olguin? My goodness, a 32-yard bomb. He's going to launch this one long, and it's a little bit short. Oh, what a pull down! Fabian Trujillo. Unbelievable, this man.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Okay, well, welcome back. We're here in the studio, high over Central Avenue in Albuquerque with Lobo great Kenny Thomas. And we had just finished. I think I made a very strong argument for why he's the greatest player of all time in UNM history. I didn't have to make that argument. I think the statistics and the facts speak for
People
themselves.
still don't believe you, man.
Well, you know, that's why that makes a good argument. Anyway, now I want to go back. You had talked about being here as a freshman, being recruited elsewhere. The landscape has changed, and what we're doing at 505 is important. We have a mantra. What we do is we retain, we recruit, and we recognize our athletes here through financial opportunities. Now I want to talk about the first one, which is retention. There are two things that exist now in the basketball world which would be completely different than when you played. One is the transfer portal.
Oh, yeah.
That's number one. That gives the student athletes at least one free shot to transfer. And if they are a good student, possibly twice as a graduate student.
Wow.
But they get that
Yeah.
transfer portal. And of course, name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
We are hearing stories about student athletes across the country getting basically pro-style salaries or salary income for staying another year, and because that's what they would make in Europe or the G League or you know, NBA free agent.
Yeah.
The students decide, well, wait a minute, maybe I want to stay another year. So in essence, despite all the screaming and yelling we've heard, the landscape of college basketball, I think, has changed for the better. With you get guys like Drew Timme.
Yeah.
He would have been gone.
Yeah.
He obviously got paid.
Yeah.
He stayed another year. You get that. You see it at UCLA. You see it at Illinois. All over. Guys who might go to the G League say, I want to stay. I'd rather play in college.
Yeah.
It's a nice life. It's not as brutal travel. I have a girlfriend who I can talk to. All that stuff.
Yeah.
So tell me, what would have been like after your freshman year if there was a transfer portal? What do you think would have happened?
I mean, I don't think I wouldn't have transferred, but I feel like if there was guys that were on the teams that I was on over the 4 years, because there was guys on there to where being here playing for the Lobos was not a good fit. So I think about guys like that being able to get out. But back when I played, obviously you had to sit out a year if you transferred. And then you lose a year eligibility, I think, depending on your situation. But now you got guys that's able to like make good money and being able to be in college because you are a commodity. You are a piece of meat. You are making money for these universities. Back when I was in college, we had Pell Grant, which was a couple grand a semester, and then I had $420 a month to live off of. And then we could not work. And the only time we could work is in the summer, and that's a couple months. And that was a blessing to be able to save up going into the year. But we had training table. We didn't ever miss a meal or anything like that. But it would have been nice to have more. Now these kids have thousands of dollars they're making, and they have living situations. I'm proud of them, and it's evolving, and they deserve it. And NIL, good for them.
Well, it's incredible. If you, for those who don't really understand the college athlete's life, I didn't live the college athlete's life here, but one year I lived with a scholarship athlete who happened to be captain of the UNM baseball team. Not only did they have school the same way I did, they either had a game or a practice every day. And for baseball, they played 50 games. And they traveled to Arizona, to Texas, to warm weather places. And they were expected to do schoolwork, all while performing at a high level. Now, you guys, it was even more intense because you're headlines. And remember, you go back to the 90s, we had 2 newspapers covering.
Oh, yeah.
We had 2 newspapers. We had an editorial or a columnist at each paper. We had a beat writer. We had the radio. We had the television. We had the tape delay at night. I mean, you guys, pre-internet, you guys were the only game in town. But God forbid, someone like me, a booster, wanted to take you to lunch. Forget it. I'd get this. I wouldn't be able to go to the universe. I wouldn't be able to go to the game, and you'd have to sit out 4 or 5 games. So the landscape there has changed, and I think it's for the better. So we will see what happens. We've already seen great results at UNM. I think. For my 50 years, I've been here watching Lobo basketball 50 years, I happen to think that this year's roster is the deepest. How it goes on the court, no one knows. There's chemistry issues, health issues, bad calls by the ref. I've never seen a roster with 10 players or 11 players this deep. So we'll see how it goes. Now, we're coming to the end of the segment. I just want to you have one memory, one specific, I'm sure you have a ton of them, but playing in the pit, is any one moment stand out?
I mean, this is not in the pit, but I have to bring this up. Clayton Shields knocking down that half-court shot down at State. That was huge. Obviously, the big rivalry was there, and losing to State was like huge, right? And then just playing in the pit, like 18,000 people a game. Started when I was in high school, carried over to my first game in the pit. There was dots that were created for people to stand in the standing room only. Like it was phenomenal. That place used to rock, and it's nice to be able to get back to that. And I'm tired of hearing about Aggies. Even though the Aggies have been great for a while, it's time for UNM now. It's time to re-amp the program. It's time to get everybody back in the stadium. I will be here a lot more, and I'll be at games, and let's see what happens, and hopefully they can get back to that Lobo winning basketball.
Well, I think we're going to be really in the game now, and I just want to let people know one of the ways that it has to happen, like it or not, NIL is here to stay. Well, it's here now. Whether it stays or not, I don't know. But waiting for it to go away is not a good strategy. Lobos are a community effort. We all have an interest in them. We need you to get involved. Again, we're about to start our March to a Million drive at 505. Please check us out, 505svf.org. It's 505sports.org. 505sports.org. Check it out. Come join us. Get in touch. Be part of what's going on. I want to thank Kenny for being here, and I hope to have you again in the future.
Whenever you want.
We'll see you.